Toy Chat is not a children's channel. This video is intended for adult gift givers and collectors. Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
And Sang.
And this is another episode of Collector's Corner, our podcast where we discuss hot topics in the doll and toy industry centered on some of our favorite brands. This is very overdue.
Yeah, we were really, in the trenches of Integrity Toys for a little while.
Yeah, it was kind of like Integrity Toys month for a bit. But yeah, we haven't done a proper Collector's Corner podcast in quite a while. We did have, a podcast style discussion on our Integrity Toys convention haul, of course. But we are going to be diving back into the world of Playline today. It's a new year. It's 2025. Happy New Year, everyone. And we're going to be having something of a year in review, definitely with more of a focus on the latter half of 2024, in part because Sang and I have a lot of ththings we need to catch up on.
Yeah.
So we're going to be playing some catch up. We're going to be sharing our thoughts and reactions to many of, the really notable, much talked about doll releases of the second half of 2024. We are going to be sharing our thoughts on the Mean Girls Bratz. We're going to be talking about the Wicked dolls. We're going to be catching up on, the major Monster High releases, including Skullector. We'll be touching on one or two things that are, G3 Playline related as well. I think a recurring theme of this conversation definitely being that just as a retrospective or, looking back at 2024 as a whole, it feels like the most popular and talked about doll releases of the year for the most part were movie dolls.
It would definitely seem like a theme going on with kind of most popular releases.
Yes. And I mean, even in addition to the stuff we're talking about today, of course, the Descendants, Rise of Red dolls also, were really big this year. Yeah, and the stuff we're going to be talking about, that's really the recurring theme. It's movie dolls were kind of what the year was all about, it felt like. Obviously, 2024 was a bit of a weird year to be a doll collector. That is also a conversation we've previously had. We had a whole previous podcast dedicated to how, 2024 was not a whole lot going on in the Playline doll world. We witnessed, multiple brands having fewer releases, budget cuts, soft reboots, so on and
cancellation,
so forth. Yes. So yeah, but I should say, by the way, some of the things we're going to be touching on, it'll be a little more of an overview. We're not going to completely get into the woods with every little release spec of everything we're talking about, but we are going to be sharing our thoughts, and we're going to be kind of just jumping through different stuff. And towards the end of this conversation, we're going to talk a little bit about what we're expecting and hoping for in the doll world in 2025, and we're also going to talk a bit about our personal favorite doll releases of 2024, one or two of them at least. Playline specifically, with a focus on Playline.
You can definitely try to guess before we announce our picks.
Yes. Yeah, let us know what yours were as well. Okay, so we're going to start the conversation with a brand that, if y'all know Sang and I, we are not the most educated, intertwined people on the subject of Bratz.
Yes.
But we are going to be talking about the Bratz Mean Girls collector dolls. And again, yeah, a lot of this stuff, of course, the community has already been, they've been out for a while. The community has already talked about them a ton. This stuff, we have not had a chance to really cover it on our channel. So, of course, we were very aware when these came out.
Yes, they were a huge conversation online for quite a while, just because of the hysteria about them selling out super quickly. It was a great collaboration. I think it's a perfect collaboration between Bratz style with something that was very Bratz coded to begin with.
Absolutely, yeah. So, of course, this was a collaboration between Bratz and the 2004 film Mean Girls, very iconic Mean Girls. We love Mean Girls, of course. You know, and the musical film adaptation, was it 2024
I
that
think
came
it
out?
was, yeah.
Yeah, so it was 2024 that movie came out as well. So it was a big year for Mean Girls. And these dolls, they dropped kind of like in sequence over a period of several weeks. They began dropping on October 3rd, as they should.
Yes.
And they were $60 each, with one exception I'll get to in a moment, but it did feature, you know, the core 4 characters of Katie, Karen, Gretchen, and of course, Regina George. Karen and Gretchen were sold as a $100 2-pack. So yeah, as Sang mentioned, these were really hyped and really popular, but they did not meet demand.
I mean, when I think we came from kind of the Monster High collector's world where things sold out within like seconds. So I had a feeling this would go the same way. So I kind of expected the drop to be very successful. Yeah, so Katie dropped first. Katie was, of course, the main character. So I figured she would sell out extremely fast. And she did. She sold out like within seconds. A lot of angry collectors, a lot of upset fans, and a lot of really viral clips and reels of people responding to the hysteria about of her selling out within seconds, and not like fans weren't able to purchase her.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Really
it was bad. So definitely one thing about MJA was they are very receptive about collectors' response to their dolls and stuff. So I
Probably
think,
especially the Bratz social media.
Oh,
It was
yeah, definitely. So Katie was a huge mess. And then Regina was next, I believe.
I think
Yes,
so.
Regina was next. And before her drop, they did announce that they had produced more of Katie. So in addition to Regina dropping, there were more Katie to purchase. So which was a very nice gesture. It made a lot of people happy. And it seems like it went a bit smoother than the first drop.
From what I was seeing online, it seemed like each subsequent drop was a bit better than the previous one. But I know initially there was a whole bunch of confusion in terms of like availability and where they were going to be available. You could buy them on the official Bratz website, but there were folks,
like international collectors.
Yeah,
they weren't very clear on when those ones were dropping and where.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, Amazon drops of collector stuff in general is a nightmare because I think, which is really interesting because Amazon is such a leading online retailer.
Yeah.
But with many other online retailers, you know at least like a time range of when something's going to go live. Amazon's just like, you know, when it goes up, it goes up.
I think with Amazon, because they're so large, they don't cater to one specific audience.
That's true. Yeah. But, you know, all that drama aside, it is kind of interesting because I do kind of feel like that drama colored, I almost feel like just the vibe of these dolls.
Like it garnered more interest, to be honest.
I think that, but I think also just when a whole bunch of people got mad, it definitely, I think, soured the vibe of what, you know, like the great, phenomenal, you know, collab this was supposed to be.
Yeah.
As Sang mentioned, it's like this very Bratz coded in general. I think Mean Girls and Bratz are, you know, a match that works extremely well. And so, by the way, yeah, of course, the dolls each come with 2 outfits, and most of them, Regina and the main like 2 plastics come with alternatively their Halloween looks essentially, and then Katie has her house party look with the pink stripes like black dress.
Yeah.
I think that these dolls are pretty. And it is a fit, and I will say out the gate, the packaging, phenom. The
for sure,
packaging is beautiful. Burn book.
That's MJ's bread and butter. Their packaging and their presentation is phenomenal. Yeah.
Super nice. Love the packaging, and I know if you line up all the burn book style packaging of all these dolls together, it makes like a full art artwork of like all the dolls
Yeah.
together. So of course it's great for display, even if if you want to keep them in box. The dolls themselves, I mean, again, of course, even like fashion from the film, it was early 2000s, and so
That's very in
it
right
was
now.
like, yeah. And I think for $60 dolls, I guess you could say Karen and Gretchen are more $50 each dolls. They are not totally giving like the luxness I think I would want to see at those price points. Also, obviously, articulation on Bratz is its own animal, because of course Bratz have had kind of variations of like different combinations of articulation. I don't know why Bratz collectors specifically like have to choose between like, you can either have arm articulation or leg articulation. We're not going to give you both, except for the tail end of the 2015 reboot that no one was able to obtain. So these ones, they have the Bratz like classic snappy legs, but they do have the articulated like wrists and elbows and stuff like that. Yeah, they're very pretty. I think there's a part of me that wishes it maybe a little more luxness to the clothing. I mean, granted, I guess you can say like it's accurate more or less.
I think they
like
went for accurate
recreations.
than recreations. I mean, they're fine. I mean, maybe the price point for what you're getting might be a little high, but again, there's so many hands in the pot for these releases, because you have to pay, the licensing fee, and of course, MJ wants a cut of the profits as well.
Exactly. As we always say, licensed stuff is more expensive by default. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they're $60. I mean, obviously coming from us buying Monster High stuff. Yeah, these are relatively nicely priced.
That's true. They're still cheaper than like every Monster High collector doll. Most of them.
They
That's
come with
very true.
two outfits and two pairs of shoes/feet. So yeah, I think they're reasonably priced, and the packaging is gorgeous, as we mentioned. So I mean, $60 is definitely a price point that's meant for collectors and not playline.
Yes.
So that's fine. I'm happy. I'm fine with it. I mean, Max and I did not buy any of these.
No. Well, not like we could have, probably like easily, but yeah, I mean, part of me wishes, I don't know if I'm being greedy, but like if they came with their little Santa outfits too, that would have been
that would
really
definitely
cute.
seal the deal. Yeah.
Yes. And then there's something to make them all matchy.
Yeah, which is something that some collectors had an issue with, because like the plastics came with their Halloween costumes, and Katie just wears her party dress. Which is, I mean, I guess they're all at a party, but they weren't in a scene together in those outfits.
Yes, and obviously that was not Katie's Halloween costume.
No.
And the other thing, too, it's more her signature kind of pink look rather than her plastics, like transformed plastics look. So, but yeah, these were cute. Curious what y'all thought. Were you able to obtain them? Like, were you interested in obtaining them? It was a lot with those.
What'd you do if you don't get one of them? You're just
sad. I don't know. I mean, obviously, yeah, of course, at this point in time, they are no longer available through official means. So I think they're still like inflated online and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see if they do release more down the line or something. I have no idea. Okay, so we're gonna jump on over to Monster High, and there's a couple things to touch on for Monster High. I would say for Monster High, 2024 was a pretty similar year to 2023, I think, in terms of like frequency of releases and like stuff like that. So in terms of Skullector, I would say two of the most notable Skullector dolls that came out, in the latter half of the year, we had the Hocus Pocus Skullector dolls, of course, with the Sanderson sisters. And this release it was a 3-pack. It cost $125. And they come with Binks, the cat, as well. And these were really popular. These, like, I think also had a pretty quick sellout, if I recall correctly. I did not try for them.
There's a running theme of us not trying for things.
Yeah.
I thought their faces were gorgeous and very, like, a nice hybrid of Monster High and the movie. They do look a little playline for Skullector dolls. Maybe because the budget had to be split between 3 dolls. I thought, the fashions were a little plain.
There's something about Mattel, like, dress hemlines that it very often feels like the dress just stops and I don't know, it's oftentimes not a material that's like a nice flowy fabric. Like honestly, in the Skullector dolls, I feel like they almost never use like luxe fabrics like chiffon, organza, like anything like that. It's the same fabric you'll see on like dolls at Target and stuff like that. Of course, that a lot of times they have more intricate, sometimes layers or patterning or whatever. I do think some of the patterns on these are pretty intricate. They're really colorful. I would say you notice the variation of vibrant colors here, maybe even more so than like how these characters appeared in the film.
Oh, of course.
They're super, super colorful. Yeah, I mean, I almost bought them, but for one, I saw how popular they were, and I was like, they're gonna sell out right away. And I'm like, I don't know if I have enough of an investment, and be like, I just didn't try. But they are very cute. And
you do have to appreciate kind of like the details into like the boots and like the like little plastic pieces on them, which is cool. I mean, I just wish they were painted better.
Have you been hearing the controversy and memes and jokes about like Monster High object heels that people are starting to say? Like, people are making memes of it. Like, because you know what it's what they always do is they take the heel and they make it like an object.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And that's like all they do all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like, collectors, I've seen memes and stuff of people like, I think there's some folks who are over it. Like they don't just want over and over and over, like, make an object representing that character, the heel, the shoe. Like I think you can still do different things in a shoe, to make
it more interesting.
Yeah, and still thematic. Yeah, you can still make it thematic. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely say these dolls are a lot of plastic and things that you'd see on like Playline dolls, but they are still really cute.
I think some paint would make them pop more. I think with that price point, they could have done a little bit of like splashes of paint. They're cute, and then definitely each of the Sanderson sisters do look like the actor or the character in the movie. Like, they have enough in them, like, oh yeah, that's definitely blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, there's some piece of it is a little clunky, like the plastic bodices and like, corsets. It's a little too much.
Yeah.
The packaging is cute. It's, like, the stereotypical Skullector packaging at this point. It's just, like, the image of the characters on the box.
Oh, and they recreated the movie, the promo poster cover or whatever. Yeah, so that's cute. Another big Skullector drop,
which you can still get to this day,
which is still currently available at this time of recording, was their Squid Game release. They did a Monster High Skullector Squid Game doll. The doll is Young Hee, essentially the doll that, identifies basically in the red light, green light game of Squid Game. Her eyes detect movement. And I would certainly say this was a very timely release because, of course, Squid Game Season 2 just came out very recently. This doll was $65, and I must say, I was just talking about the Bratz dolls, seeming, for their price point, blah-de-blah. This, I gotta be real honest, this is something that would be a great $19.99, if that, Target doll. I do think she's cute, and I mean, of course, the young he like the doll, she is wearing a very simple schoolgirl outfit. But
you know, I think the Skullector dolls does incorporate like a lot of like the imagery of the show on it. Like the dress itself has like the ladders, the stairs. It has all the stairs.
Yeah, like the little labyrinth stairs the contestants walk through.
Yes.
That is a very nice touch.
And then her socks are the shapes that you have to cut out.
And the sugar cookies or whatever. Yeah.
So there is those elements on it, but I think she is very simple, and I don't think she represents what I would want in a $65.
Oh, her purse is the prize.
Piggy bank, yeah.
The piggy bank, yeah, the prize win thing.
Yeah, so there's a lot of those themes, but I think maybe as a doll itself, she's very simple. And, you know, I can understand why she hasn't sold out yet.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, to be really honest, this has clearly been a recurring theme with Monster High Skullector dolls. I would say Monster High Collector dolls in general. They're very expensive for what they are.
Yeah.
What you're paying for is the licensing and nostalgia, or, you know, whatever factor.
And, you know, things can be hit or miss. And obviously, you know, some properties will resonate better with collectors and you know, demographic that are buying these dolls, and I think that this particular one doesn't really resonate with me personally, and seems like a lot of collectors didn't enjoy what they were getting with her. I mean, there are still some people who got her, and you know, they take fabulous photos of her, and you know, she's very on theme of what season 2 just came out. But yeah, she's a little too simple for my personal taste.
People also were like dogging on the fact that they were advertising her being able to rotate her head fully as like a feature.
Yes.
And it's like, well,
aren't they all?
It's like, yeah, so that was a little interesting. But
I think it would have been better if she came with, you know, like one of those, I won't say henchmen, but
technically, I guess you could say the Squid Game henchmen or whatever. Yeah, but and it would work if they were small.
Yeah,
because the doll is really large, right? Yeah, that would have been a nice inclusion. But so there was another release that Monster High came out with not too long ago. They collaborated with fashion designer Harris Reed for a really glam, like high fashion doll. This doll, I think, was really pretty. Sang and I both like almost bought this doll,
and
but
you still can.
And you still can. It's like still available.
I think this one was a better sell to me than the Off-White collection. Because the Off-White one was really expensive. This one was more manageable, and it feels like this one was an actual collaboration with a designer.
Yes, and so the designer being, by the way, fashion designer Harris Reed, and the name of this doll was Witch Weaver. Harris Reed doll, and so it was kind of like a witchy, like I would say like high fashion witch was the inspiration here. I like this doll a lot.
Yeah.
I think this doll is really cool, and what is really awesome as well is this doll is wearing very like glamorous, you know, dramatic, effeminate clothes. But the doll comes with a male body sculpt. Harris Reed is gender fluid, but uses he, him pronouns. And I think that's really cool. I like that a lot. I don't quote me on this, but I don't know if Monster High has done something like that before. I mean, I know obviously they had, you know, some like gender bent things before. Like obviously there was like female presenting Beetlejuice and other Skullectors and stuff like that. But of course, in the playline side of things, we do have Gen 3 Frankie, who uses they, them pronouns. But this is another end of the, you know, LGBTQ plus gender non-conforming spectrum. Very cool to see.
I love the fabric used here too. Some of like the top is like this frilly checker print fabric that's with like puff sleeves. I love that.
Yeah, and these are pants, right? It looks like pants.
I believe so, yeah, they're pants. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is cool. So it's like from afar, you might assume it's like a mermaid dress or something. It's not. These are pants that have, like that really cool billowing out. It's like, is that tulle? I guess maybe like a tulle or something like that.
Tulle or what's chiffon?
Chiffon, yeah. So
we don't own.
We do not own this doll, but and it's $75. I would say you get, at least definitely in terms of like fashion details, you get a little more bang for your buck with these fashions. And there is also a really intricate like spiderweb headpiece, which I believe Harris Reed is known for, like really large like statement headpieces.
Yeah, and that really long, like wavy hair too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this doll is worth the price. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want it. It's like I don't own this doll. Maybe I.
Okay, so this doll. So which weaver has they them pronouns according to the description?
Okay. So this particular character, and so I guess this is it's an original character. Uses they them pronouns. So I love the almost like Harlequin looking puffy top.
Yeah,
it is very cute.
Even like kind of the corset, or like
it's very high fashion. Honestly, we don't get to. See...
even if you don't want to open them, the box itself is really cool because there's like a window cut out in the back, so you can shine light through their hat.
Oh, through like the headpiece. That's so cute. That is super cute. Yeah, so big fan of that one. Did you guys pick this one up? Let us know your thoughts. Oh, I just realized why last year was such a big year for Jennifer. 2024 was the year of the dragon. I forgot about that. 2024 was a big year for Jennifer because she came back in a big way. Jennifer Long, of course, she's like a legacy character from Monster High Gen 1. So she got a Gen 1 style collector release. It was, of course, Fang Vote. I don't recall. I know for sure we've talked about like the previous Fang Vote with Rochelle. I don't know if we got a chance on our channel to talk much about the.
It was so long ago. We voted way back in 2023, I believe, and it took over a year for her to be produced. At that one point, like I was like, what happened to Jennifer? Like, Max purchased her, and I did not realize I purchased her until I got a notification that she was shipping.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the Fang Vote Jennifer Long doll. Her official title is Fang High Glamour. And so, of course, because this was the Fang Vote, it happened quite a while ago. And it was so people voted for all these different things on her. Honestly, I know people were talking a lot about Vampire Heart Draculaura as being one of like the most detailed Monster High dolls ever released. This Jennifer might be giving her a run for her money in that category. She has so many like pieces and accessories and layers and fabric types and like on her. There is so much going on. And she is $90, which honestly,
worth every
for
penny.
this is fair, I would say. The only thing is I do wish that the packaging, we're looking at her right now, I do wish her packaging, like the box, were firmer, like maybe a heart. That might increase the price even more. Her box is very pretty. It is a really pretty display box. Granted, there's a lot in the front and back. There's quite a bit of like plastic window display.
I think that's fine. I think you need some negative space to like rest your eyes on.
Yes. The only problem with it having like kind of your standard cheap doll box material is mine got a little banged up on multiple spots, which I don't love.
It did come within a shipper though.
Yeah.
But obviously the shipper is a shipper, so they shipped in those boxes, so yeah.
Yes. She's really pretty. I like her a lot. I do have to say, you maybe need to shine certain like lighting on it or something, but her little organza like train, it doesn't have quite the same color or texture effect as like the promo images.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it looks more of a solid blue than this gradient kind of blue to pink purple.
Which is a little bit of a bummer because I remember seeing that and being like, oh my god, if it looks like that, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I only see blue. Maybe there's a little purple down there.
There's some purple down there, but I feel like it would be hard to get that exact effect. You'd need dramatic lighting into position. Yeah, it looks like there's like a layer of purple in there. But she's really lovely. Praise be. I don't think I got a wonky one. She has a really, really, really intricate hairpiece.
Yeah.
I saw some people saying they thought she's like a little much overall in terms of like the accessories and like hair pieces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I really like her. I think she's super pretty. I may end up just keeping her in box because she makes a nice like just as is display doll.
She does come with a cool stand though.
I know, that's like the main thing that I want to like take out just because the stand, it's like a water splash stand that looks so cool.
Like, to me, I think it might be been a good idea to get two, but at this point it's too late. But yeah, I mean, everything is really cool. The packaging is great. Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad Sang decided to take the plunge because I did not. Yeah, no, I bought her.
Yeah,
but
I think she's great.
Yeah,
she's really pretty. I would love to see other dolls with this level of detail. I think a lot of people like the Fang Vote Rochelle, I think was not what a lot of people were hoping for. But this, I think, was way more a step in the direction of like, okay, this is like a $90 doll. Like right here. Yeah.
I think they learned from the mishaps of Rochelle with the voting system for this one. Speaking of voting, I don't think we got one this year.
Fang Vote?
Yeah.
That's true. There hasn't been a new... I mean, Jennifer was such a process. They were like... They had to put all the resources into that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder if we're going to continue that trend of having a Fang Vote. But
I don't know. That would be interesting. Yeah. But yeah, we love her. She's great. We stan. And... in addition to that, we got our official unveiling of the Gen 3 Jennifer Long Playline doll. Also super cute. I love, the addition of kind of like lavender, like to her color scheme. It's actually great. I think it makes her just different enough that it feels like a fresh spin on the character without feeling like you're ruining, the integrity of the character. She still looks, very dragon. I would say she now has a more tasteful amount of gold.
Disclaimer, we don't own her physically yet because the only place we could get her at the time was on Amazon.
We don't buy Playline dolls on Amazon.
We like to inspect the dolls first. But her promo hair looks great. I heard in person it does not look quite as great, and I think that's kind of the standard for Gen 3. But her outfit is cute, super gorgeous, lots of little individual pieces.
I'm sure it's a team of people or maybe, or whatever, but the folks responsible for like designing G3's signature line, like slay, honestly. It says they're doing a really, really good job. I really like the red jacket and like the metallic, cloud, top, and like her little like waist chain belts and everything. I think she's great.
Yeah, even the body sculpt is pretty cool. Like, I think it's a tasteful way of doing like kind of the scaly legs that transitions into like the normal,
Yes, I like it. I'm a fan. And her little like dragon poodle pet is so cute.
I to be honest, I think some of the pets are starting to look samey to me. Yes. They're little like chibi-fied little creatures with big heads. They look kind of like Littlest Pet Shop lately.
They do.
Yeah, so they need to change up a little bit more.
She looks, honestly, even without the jacket, I love this top.
Yeah.
The top is so nice. Her earrings are super detailed too. Yeah, I'm a big fan of her. I really hope we find her in stores. At Target specifically. All right, so we're going to be moving on from Monster High, but staying within the world of Mattel. So, of course, I think a lot of doll collectors would agree that, you know, we had Barbie and Barbenheimer in 2023. Wicked was very prominent this year, even though it came out in, you know, like the latter end of the year. So we're going to be talking about the Wicked dolls. I mean, I'm sure everyone and their mother is familiar with Wicked. If by some anomaly you are not, it is, yes, Wicked is the musical adaptation of a 1995 novel that had a slightly different name, which that itself was a revisionist take on, of course, the classic novel Wizard of Oz. Essentially, it acts as a prequel to the events of Wizard of Oz. And Mattel secured licensing to this, and so we got a variety of Wicked dolls this year. And the trajectory of those dolls was really interesting because they were briefly, like, readily available all over store shelves. And then, and I mean, like, selling pretty well, I would say. And then they were swiftly removed from store shelves because I'm sure many of you have already heard about this, but yes, these dolls were recalled specifically.
So yeah, the website that was located at the bottom of the box or behind the box incorrectly listed a wrong website.
Yes, it listed an explicit adult website rather than the Wicked movie website it was intending to list. Someone definitely got fired. And that, I mean, there was so much drama over that. There was like a mom who sued and claimed, you know, it caused her and her daughter emotional distress or something like that.
I mean, to briefly just touch upon it, it's like, when you go to an adult website, there's usually a disclaimer saying, oh, are you over 18?
It's like a landing page.
Yes.
It's like a landing page, yes. So that particularly felt a little opportunistic. But I think also a question I posed, I'm like, do children in 2024 in, like, you know, to present actually, like, look at the bottom of their doll box and be like, Mommy, I'm gonna go to this website,
I want to learn more.
I feel like they don't, and if they do, they for sure have a parent right alongside them. That being said, of course, I understand why this was a problem that needed addressing. But yeah, ever since then, these dolls have been hard to come across in stores, with the exception of Walmart, because of course Walmart does whatever it wants and they are the only store that gets that exception for whatever reason. But, so talking about the dolls themselves, and I think we're not really gonna do a super, super specific, like, every release. We're probably gonna do a little more of, like, a broader overview. You know, they released dolls of multiple characters, a lot of, like, the major characters in the film. But we are going to be focusing specifically on the Glinda and Elphaba dolls. I would say, like, the three primary, I mean, they got multiple releases. There were, like, you know, more budget-leaning dolls that, you know, were singing and had Glinda, you know, in her popular look. You know, they kind of had, you know, they had their Shiz University looks, the Ozdust Ballroom looks, and then there were the deluxe dolls that were, you know, you could say are basically their, you know, good witch / bad witch looks. And they range, so these range a bit in price. I believe the cheaper ones were more in the realm of $24.99. You can find some of them for cheaper. I have noticed that it kind of varies depending on, like, across Walmart and Amazon and all that. The deluxe ones are more approaching $40, like $39.99 and stuff like that. Again, they vary depending on where you buy them. We're going to talk first about our thoughts on the sculpts, the face sculpts, because of course these are made in the likeness of the actors who played these characters, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo.
The Ariana Grande sculpt is a little derpy, in my opinion. I don't think they captured her likeness quite as well as Cynthia's.
Yeah.
I seen some great, amazing repaints of her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fabulous.
I think just when they simplify Ariana Grande's face, and I think Ariana, because she's something that we're so used to seeing, as well as the fact that she's just Ariana Grande here.
Mm-hmm.
I think, it doesn't really translate quite as well. I think just her eyebrows being raised so high, and then the simplification of her eyes really does take away from the likeness.
I think overall the eyebrows are too high. I think they should have been a bit lower. So we're talking about a combination of sculpt and screening here, but overall, I do think it resembles Ariana, but what I think is, it's kind of funny that even Ariana herself, like when her and Cynthia, there's the video clip of them reacting to these dolls. One of the first things Ariana said was like, "Oh my God, they got my like anxious eyebrows," and I was like, "Yeah, it's like they did." So the eyebrows are very raised on these dolls.
I think they did a good job for Cynthia.
I think Cynthia is great. Yeah. I think particularly, and she's also there's like more dimension and personality, that she has like the slight smirk, which is really funny because you could also say that's a slight nod to the original, Wicked poster. I think they did a very good job with Cynthia Erivo. Yeah. I think this sculpt is very nice. I like the little smirk. I think her face is really pretty. And on all her dolls, I do really like her braids. Y'all know I love to see a doll braid. In general, I think the dolls themselves, I would say, like, picking a favorite. My favorite is probably, I would actually say for both of them, for both Glinda and Elphaba, the Ozdust ballroom scene outfits are probably my favorite dolls in this series. One thing I will say out the gate, this film itself, and of course, Sang and I have seen the film, the movie had some fabulous fashions.
Yeah.
There was like the fashion in the movie was eating. Some of these recreations, I think, don't do total justice to the aesthetic of, and I mean, of course, well aware of the fact that, like, when you're working with doll scale, particularly if you're having to work with like playline prices and stuff like that, you do what you can. I think the Ozdust ballroom looks are very nice for both Glinda and Elphaba. I do really like the billowing, kind of flowy, like flower aesthetic of Glinda's, and I do really like the mesh sleeves on Elphaba. The one that I feel like did not hit the mark was Glinda's gown, like her Good Witch, No One Mourns the Wicked gown. This dress in the film, I thought was gorgeous. I think with all the little intricate details and iridescence and stuff like that, I mean, of course, you're not really going to be able to capture that at these price points. I think that's one general sentiment I do need to share here is this is a property that I think really deserved like proper deluxe releases, like actual $100 or plus, like well done, very detailed deluxe releases.
Yeah.
Because I probably like really would have bought like a Glinda and Elphaba and like Defying Gravity / No One Mourns the Wicked looks. But what we got were these $39.99 moments, and I think in particular Glinda's gown. I've heard some people say that the gown itself is like plastic, like it's not even fabric. That's what I've been hearing people say.
It's kind of like umbrella, like that texture.
I saw pieces like it rips and it has bad holes from the twisty ties and stuff. So it's like
I think the original, like the Ariana Grande dress, the Good Witch dress, is more of a tulle or like a chiffon.
Yeah.
And there's layers to it, and there's which I guess you really couldn't translate that to doll form
not
at this price point.
At a $39.99 price point, no.
So it does look cheap. I mean, I don't think kids really care, but...
No,
but
I mean, to be honest, there's a part of me that feels like, again, this is giving more $25, $30 than $40 like deluxe doll.
No.
Because it's... Now, what I do need to give them props for is these dolls are articulated.
Yes.
So, big points, Mattel, for doing that.
Yeah.
We love to see that. And they're like heavily articulated. They have like the wrists and stuff like that. Not every doll in this collection does, like the singing dolls and stuff like that. Those are more like budget. They're not fully articulated. Defying Gravity Elphaba. So this is her like deluxe $39.99 look.
I think the cape is pretty cool. It should be longer.
Yeah. yes. I do appreciate the fabric on her dress. It feels like, me too, I really love her braids. But yeah, like, you know, her cape is really cool. I would say as far as sculpted pieces go, I think her broom is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that it has like the gnarled handle like the film and stuff like that. It's very nice. I would say the overall cohesive like coming together of this look, I think is more successful than Glinda's gown.
I think Glinda,
look.
because of her character, she's very frilly and over the top. So her outfits don't translate very well in doll form.
It doesn't have the eleganza of the original. Yeah.
Yes. I personally love her popular dress.
Yeah.
Just because of like the big puffs, which they did fine. But the rest of the dress is just printed, which is kind of lame.
Which is the other bummer because the actual popular dress is so cute. It's super cute. Like I would love like a doll fashion piece of the proper that look. So it's completely printed. So yeah, the really intricate like ruffly stuff at the trim of that like nightgown dress is printed on this doll.
Yeah.
But again, this is like one of the budget ones. Yeah. So she sings. You press her chest or something, and she sings. So, you know, that was kind of a majority of, you know, the big stuff we needed to catch up on. You know, kind of just sharing again. 2024 was a really weird like doll year. I would say specifically for Playline dolls. We have already discussed, you know, what has been going on with Rainbow High, of course. LOL Surprise OMGs really slowed down a lot in 2024. Monster High Gen 3 is definitely continuing on. It's going to be interesting to see what's going on for them in 2025. Sang and I definitely had a little bit of a shift in terms of like our collecting priorities in 2024. We did not purchase Playline dolls in 2024 hardly at all, to be really honest. We shifted very much to blind box figures, and like K-pop.
We're still collecting stuff, and you know.
Yes, and obviously we're continuing to be Integrity Toys fans and stuff like that. As y'all probably know by now, we have gotten really into Pop Mart, and we had a very successful Pop Mart video recently. We did a history, you know, like story of Labubu video. Very grateful to see that video we worked very hard on did so well. If you guys are interested in like more, you know, Pop Mart videos or more videos like that one where we kind of explore the history and you know, like, you know, story behind different Pop Mart characters, maybe we'll try to do, you know, something like that. Moving forward, it seemed like a lot of other doll collectors did the same thing.
Yeah.
Last year, like, I feel like there were some people who moved on fully to like different hobbies. They're like, if they're like, especially if they were primarily like Rainbow High collectors,
It's 2017 all over again.
I know.
We need, in a couple years, we're gonna have another doll renaissance, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's brewing, it's cooking. We'll see, you know, what the future brings. But okay, so real quick, we're going to talk about our one or two, like, our favorite Playline doll releases of the year. You know, the plethora we have to choose from. I would say I kind of have a hard time picking like one individual release this year. I would say the playline, like doll line that most consistently held my attention throughout the year kind of was Monster High. You know, I did, I picked up the latest collection of Skullector Secrets, which was Garden Mysteries. I like those a lot. I would actually probably go as far as to say those were like some of my favorite Playline doll releases of the year. They were really pretty.
They were really pretty. My whole thing is I am over the giant plastic boxes that come in.
Aren't we all? Well, I am as well, yeah.
I can't make room in my collection for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of them, throw them away, resell them. Or whatever.
Yes,
yeah.
Give us stands instead.
Yeah. The things we're getting instead of stands. Like, I just don't understand.
It's frustrating because, I do really like those dolls. And they've been on sale for quite a bit lately. But I can't bring myself to, like, buy those and then find space for those boxes or throw them out because it seems wasteful and bad for the environment. So, I don't know. I would like to get those one day, but maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That particular line seems like they are releasing quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're on like wave 5 or something like that.
There's so many. It's a lot. But again, I don't mind continuing the concept. Like I do appreciate that it's like an excuse for Monster High dolls to have a lot of like different clothing pieces and accessories, and you can change their look and stuff like that. I do like that.
Yeah.
So I'd like to maybe like keep that concept, but move away from these reprinted color variant, like gigantic locker sculpts. Like it's too many. It's excessive. But yeah, I would say Monster High, and also Jennifer is so pretty. We don't have her yet, but
she would probably make her list.
She's probably going to be way up there. I would also say, honestly, it was a relatively successful year, I think, for some of the newer, more affordable doll lines, like, Magic Mixies were very cute in 2024, and Sang did the Doll Awards.
I did.
In 2024, and Magic Mixies was a winner in that, which I think was deserving.
The Disney Adorbs were really cute.
Oh, yeah. Adorbs were definitely stood out to me as well. I think those were very cute. We did review those. You can check it out. If they were more articulated, I would be like...
Oh, for sure.
Really, really, really into those.
I mean, we kind of harp on kind of like the Rainbow High, but we did end up buying quite a few Rainbow High dolls. Like, we did end up completing, like, collectively, the Sparkle and Shine dolls, because we did receive some in PR, but then we ended up buying a few of them to do a full review of that, which thank you for watching. I bought the pink girl.
Rosetta. We both liked Rosetta.
Yes,
She was the main...
She's the main one. I mean, of course, the pink girl tends to get special treatment.
Yeah.
But
she's one of the cuter dolls, I would say, too.
Yeah, she was the cuter one, and her fashion was kind of nice. But yeah, that's mainly really what I bought this year.
Something else I do kind of want to bring up is I would say another doll that stood out, and I would say her clothes were stunning, was LOL Surprise OMG Perla. Who we did also review. She has a very, very like iridescent mermaid kind of aesthetic, and her clothes are so detailed. They're so pretty. Like which it's very interesting. Like there were no OMGs at all, or hardly at all this year. Yeah. So it's like the LOL Surprise OMG line is like really, really, really slowing down.
I think MJ is kind of focusing on Bratz mainly lately. I know there's quite a few new Bratz that are coming out or have been out. And their resin play stuff.
Yes.
So I hope MJ kind of reconsider working on some of their other lines. Like the OMG still, when they were producing them, they were really detailed. Of course, Rainbow High was another thing we hope they fix.
Yeah, we did. We, make sure to check out our last Rainbow High review. If you haven't, we reviewed Iris Bow of Creative Crystals. I don't know what's going to be going on with Rainbow High in 2025. I really don't know. This has been the year, 2024 was the year of the Rainbow High soft reboots, and that was the thing that happened. So I really don't know what's going to be going on in 2025. There's some other Rainbow High stuff that's like leaked, but it seems like, I know there's more Color and Create coming, I think, and stuff like that, but it's like, it seems like it's a lot of the same. It's a lot of continuing with, like activities and gimmicks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, chalk is also something I wouldn't want. It's really messy.
Yeah,
There's also those tots, the little kids. What are those Rainbow High kids called?
Littles. Oh God, there's more littles.
Yeah,
and
the
Kaya,
playsets.
and it's Kaya, which is also interesting because like there has not been. I'm pretty sure there have only been 2 Kaya Heart dolls ever, and one of them is a junior. So very interesting. And the littles, the story and lore behind the littles is very like whatever to me, but they're the character's little sisters or whatever.
Yeah.
But they look exactly like their big sister.
Yeah. I think you gotta keep in mind that doll production takes quite a while. So some of the changes that we're hoping might take a while to, go into production and come out. So hopefully 2025 is the year we'll see some of the changes that we've been asking for. But who knows?
Yeah.
You never know. We could just see the brand die and we'll have the memories. We'll always have the memories.
Then we'll have a retrospective video officially
Yes,
when that happens. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting seeing how 2025 is for dollies. Definitely let us know what y'all think. What do you hope to see in 2025? Some of the brands we discussed and beyond, like what do you want to see moving forward? Definitely let us know. Thank you so much for joining us for this podcast conversation. Let us know what you want us to talk about, in the next podcast. We've fulfilled a lot of like the stuff that we had to get done on our channel recently. So it's now a little more open, like kind of what we're going to be doing or what we're going to be covering or reviewing or discussing next. We do have some more IT, like integrity stuff that we definitely would like to, cover. But yeah, let us know. We know what you would most like to see. So thank you so much again for joining us for this podcast. Give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.